Hello everyone. In this video, we will be talking about the YSL trial's conclusion. So, I have been keeping up the YSL trial for a very long time, and now the verdicts have been read, and here we go. We'll now talk about what happened. Georgia's longest trial in history ended Tuesday, when the jury in Atlanta's internationally watched YSL trial returned verdicts for the two last co-defendants, DeMonte Yak and Kendrick Shannon. Kendrick was found not guilty on all charges. One count of conspiracy to violate Georgia's racketeering influence to corrupt organization, RICO. One count of murder, one count of participation in a criminal street gang activity, 3 counts of violating the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a machine gun, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon who was previously convicted or a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. Steelwell was found guilty of possession of a firearm by convicted felon, previously convicted involving the use or possession of a firearm. He was found not guilty on all the other charges, which is 1 count of RICO violation, 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of participation in a criminal street gang activity, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And it was a very emotional thing for both of them when they were given the sentence. And we were waiting in the chat for a couple of days for this verdict to be read. And we were talking and hanging out, making jokes while we were waiting for the verdict to be read. And eventually the jury came out, the honorable jury came out with their verdict, and both very emotional during this time. I will also discuss the reactions. So Yak was very moved, and he did the sign of the cross because he was thankful for God about this verdict, and he sat down with Weinstein, his attorney, also with Max Shardit and Steelwell. That was very moving. They hugged each other, and also Steelwell looked like he was crying, and he was crying. They were all very emotional, and it was very good to see that. And our justice system works. It's good to see it work, and it's good to see somebody, these group of people, correctly get off because they didn't do anything wrong. And of course, to the exception of Steelwell with the firearm situation. But basically what would happen with that is he would get probation. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whittaker sentenced Steelwell to 10 years in prison with 2 years time served and the rest to be served on probation, as I just said. Steelwell's attorney, Max Shardit, told reporters outside the courthouse that his client now has a second chance at life. Shardit said he believes the verdict is fair and just. Quote, "Absolutely, the jurors. We asked so much of the jurors, and they really scrutinized the evidence and demanded real evidence, and it wasn't there," he said. And that was a situation that was going on when we were watching to see what the verdict would be. And basically, yeah, sometimes the juries will have questions during trials, and they had some questions, and their questions weren't really being answered because the evidence wasn't really there. That's why my argument about this whole trial is that there was nothing there to prove that these people did anything. In spite of some people that disagreed with me that weren't even watching the trial, they just assumed they may have been guilty, but without actually looking at what's going on. So that's why when you look at the trial and you just look at the evidence, it's not there. When you show people in Instagram pictures or music videos for the rap songs, it doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. And obviously the jury could also see that this was nonsense as well. Continuing. Kendrick's attorney, Doug Weinstein, was also pleased with the client's verdict and said the fight against using rap lyrics in court shouldn't stop. Quote, "The DA's office used this song, his rap, take it to trial against him," Weinstein said, and DeMonte took it to trial and showed the DA's office what they can do with the lyrics. Jeff DeSantis, a spokesperson for the Fulton County DA Fannie Willis, told the Associated Press, quote, "We always respect the verdict of a jury. And there's a lot of shady things, in my opinion, about her, and that she had some sort of bias because allegedly her boyfriend was deleted by somebody from this alleged gang, and they had something to do with it, but as we could see, this is not the case, and that is an alleged situation that I've heard rumors about." Continuing, Kendrick and Stilwell were charged in the 2015 killing of Donovan Thomas Jr., aka Big Nut, who prosecutors said was in a rival gang, according to Associated Press. Stilwell also was charged in the 2022 death of Shimel Drinks, who prosecutors said was killed in retaliation for the killings days earlier of two associates in a gang known as YSL. Thomas was killed in a drive-by shooting outside an Atlanta barbershop. In the other killing, prosecutors allege Stilwell pulled up next to Drinks and shot 3 rounds into his car. The verdicts came after about a week of jury deliberations, and on one day after Kendrick was stabbed, while being held at the notorious Fulton County Jail. Stilwell also had been stabbed inside the same facility almost a year ago. So I think this trial is one of my top trials that I like a lot, including the up there with the Johnny Depp trial that I first experienced, and this led me down the road to cover trials. So I think that this was very well done, and Weinstein and Charlotte did a brilliant, excellent job. This was a lot of drama. This is a historical trial in Georgia's history. And, Brian Steele was held in contempt by Glanville when he was holding an ex parte meeting, and he found out about it. There are so many rabbit holes, so many different times where people in the trial, especially from the state specifically, would cause so much problems to the defense. And they came up with these stupid things to go with whatever sticked, but it didn't work. The jury saw through all the lies. And this was a disgrace of a trial on the DA of Georgia. But the American way of having fair and right trials prevailed, because that's what the founders of this country wanted. It doesn't always work in the sense there could be times where somebody may not be guilty and they are found guilty when they weren't, hypothetically. But in this situation, everything went the way it was supposed to by the jury. So this is my update about the YSL trial, and I will do another video about more in depth about the shadiness and more background about this trial for those that may not be completely familiar with it. So links will be in the description about this specific topic. Comment your thoughts below what you think, and thank you so much for watching. This was a very amazing experience to be in the trial chat and watch all this unfold. Shout out to the YSL chat fam over there in the trial chat. All right, take care, everybody.